Good afternoon. It is November the 16th, 2016, and we're going to be 80 degrees today and tomorrow here before the cold front comes through, and that means we've got high winds. Way too warm for this year, so I'll be running my air conditioner at least through the 17th of November. An amazing year, global warming. I didn't like it too much in September and October, just ridiculous, and it's still hanging around. Okay, we came in today in crude, wanting to sell 46.50s. There's a number 2 zone. We had our first trade 45.75 to 46 right here. That was sell 1. Turned out pretty well for us. We were hoping to buy. Let them get stops below 45. We subsequently raised that to 45.25, and that's as close as we got to it right there. So after flirting with it down here, this is news. Russian minister came in and said, "Yep, we're going to get an OPEC deal. We're all going to get together and meet. And it'll be done." And again, we are subject. If we're short, we're subject to this kind of news spike the whole time, so you do have to trade with protective stops. Trades worked out pretty much as expected. No magic there. I mean, they are designed to work out. So all said and done, had a pretty good day trading crude. Okay, looking at the E-mini. We saw a trading range day today. We had our first sell at 74.76. We had our buy. We were trying to buy 65, 67s. We had a question mark at 70. We said it might take 70s to get in. That turned out to be the case. Support was at 64 to 68. We saw that early. Really weren't able to get down into it. So 70 was the number, and we had that in our hands at 6:45 Central, or close enough to that. If you didn't execute at the edges, there really wasn't much there for you in the way of trading all day long. I mean, it was just, you're selling the mean green, you're buying the mean green, you're selling the value area high, you're buying the value area lows. That was the trade. Your 10-minute charts, again, were the answer. Before lunch, we said we thought the market would trade higher. At the 1 o'clock update, we thought the market would trade higher, and guess what? It's trading higher. And you wouldn't get that from the profile. The profile is going to show you a B. But what you get that from is context, knowing how the market operates. And we've had all day long to break it. We've had a B right here. We haven't been able to break it. It's after lunch. I mean, the market certainly isn't lower, and we're starting to get higher lows, so a retest of resistance and or higher becomes more likely under those conditions. So just put that down and remember it. It'll help you deal with context as you move along. F1 screen. Higher low, higher high, find a place to buy it. F2 screen, there's some disparity right here. They're not totally lined up on this time frame. But if we put all this together, you're dealing with one pretty big P. So in the overall scheme of things, it does look like it might trade higher. And here's where we sit. So we got resistance at 76, then it's going to jump up to 79, and it really jumps up to 83. So we do have some news tomorrow to get through. CPI up 0.4, core up 0.2. PPI came in much lower. It's a faster, more raw measurement, so I imagine the CPI numbers will be pretty close to spot on. Starts 1.168, could come in lower. Housing market has been showing signs of softening. Permits 1.19, could come in lower. Jobless claims 257. I don't think anybody pays any attention to that. It hasn't gotten much of a reaction. Philly Fed at 8. That could cause a little bounce. E-commerce retail sales 4.5% last. Don't know what it will be, but that's what they'll be measuring against. The natural gas last was 54 BCF. So the focus really will be core CPI, starts and permits, belly fed. First sell, it's where we are right now, is going to be 74, 76. Then 79, 81 for sell 2. Pretty much where we were today. That's assuming a close below 75. On the buy side, 69, 71, buy 1. No magic here. That's just where support and resistance do lie. You go look at any chart, 5-minute, 30-minute, 60-minute, daily, and you're going to see ledges right there. So even an ex-Air Force pilot could figure it out, right? So support 65, 70, and resistance is 75 to 80 when you get right down to it. Okay, treasuries are in a downtrend. They've been heavily sold. Next week we have the 2, 5, and 7-year auction and Thanksgiving, and we're out of the month of November. So to move the paper, it's hard to do in a down market. Not impossible. So lower high, lower low, we can sell. Looking at the F2 screen, definitely a P. So will 126, 20, 24 hold? My guess is it might. So we're going to sell 19s to 23s and 27s to 31s. On the buy side, don't think the bottom will fall out of the market, but the last rotate down was 12, so maybe stops below 12, so 5 to 9, buy 1. If the E-mini rallies, well, we can open it up even lower than that. And then 29 to 01, buy 2. Now, some people get into trading thinking that you can't do this type of work, the grunt work. What comes when you sit down and you do this grunt work? You really are looking at the market, and over time, subconsciously, you're developing knowledge that's beneath the surface. And if you do it the same way over and over and over again, you put the same template on the market. And back in the old days, we had to hand draw our charts, and just by virtue of the fact that you pulled out a pencil and you put a vertical line on the chart and you put 2 hash marks for the open and close, you would just kind of assimilate and see what was going on in the market. And it was pretty easy to see that the trend was higher or lower, and that this was support or resistance, and trade accordingly. Okay, we had guessed a couple hours ago that we might close in the 24, 28 area, and it closed stronger. So sometimes treasuries and indexes can trade higher simultaneously because they're trading off of interest rate increase or decrease. Number one area is 4 to 8. So we're going to make 11 to 15. That is resistance, sell 1. And 23, 27, sell 2. I don't think we're in a situation without the E-mini spilling for the market to do a lot. We have this M period low at the buck. Got an L period low at 23, so we'll put 24, 28 as number 1. Lean against that. 17 to 21, buy 1. 5 to 9, buy 2. Boy, you just look at the press right now, and it's almost a shriek. That we are relevant. We still have meaning. But everything that was thrown at Trump to defeat him, mainstream media, academia, money, endorsements out the waz against him, overcame the press, the media, entertainment, the political. I mean, it's pretty amazing when you think about it. So there are people out there questioning their relevance. Do they matter anymore? And they're in the first stages of that. So the volume gets pretty loud. Almost like dealing with a child. They scream and throw a temper tantrum. Now you see the riots in the street out here, and of course nobody's talking, about these riots and quieting them down. And because of who they are attacking. But it's I think most of us, if you want a straight story, you really have to dig out and you got to find it yourself. You got to ferret it out. You got to read the headlines. You got to read the body of the stories. You got to figure out who's lying and who's not. And that really diminishes the relevance of the mainstream media, as it's been. Okay, gold, higher low, higher high, can trade higher. My guess is we're headed for stops below 1200 before it's all said and done. Got a B right here, so we had a sell at 28 to 30. I don't see anything wrong with that. 28 to 30, sell one. 34, 36, let them get stops above these highs, sell two. On the buy side, 20 to 22, we'll just keep it where it is. We've got a B with TPOs, we've got a P with volumes, so we'll see if we can't get down into this tail right here. Retest that and have it hold. If that retest it and have it hold, then we're going to be shooting for the 1235, 1240 area. And then 15 to 17 by 2. And our 15 to 17 was where we were the other day, and it produced a pretty good trade for us so far. Yeah, there are a lot of ways to get to the public right now, other than the three major news channels at 6 p.m. Eastern or 7. I gave up on that a long time ago because it's late. I mean, doing what we do, we see it all day long. We know what they're going to talk about at night as far as hard news goes. But you see names like Reddit, and I don't follow those. Obviously, there's big followings on Instagram and Twitter, big followings on Facebook and Google News. So it's pretty easy to get around the mainstream news. I mean, Fox, everybody thinks Fox is conservative. They're liberals disguised as conservatives as far as I am concerned, but they are a little bit more balanced. But a lot of their people, I mean, they're in the industry. It'd be hard not to lean to the liberal side. I think where most of them are based in New York City or D.C. Higher low, higher high. Can trade higher. Looking at F2. Okay, this is crude, and we know there's a seller in that 46.50 to 47 area off the structure. And this is the news day. We've got that D period wrap, and it's hard to know what we have. But we can see right now, we can see price rejection above 46 and a quarter. We know there's pretty good buying below 43. 43 to 46 is 3 points. Crude normally trades in the $2 to $3 range when it goes in the trading range. So we've tested resistance, maybe, without a new piece of news. And so maybe we head down and we test support. Looking at this structure, volume-wise, it's very, very square, like a D. And TPO-wise, it may be leaning B, but the volume leaning D. So we'll be looking for like a move out of this 45.75 area. God, you've been ignorant since the 80s, Jeff, if you haven't watched the mainstream news. My goodness. How ill-informed. 45.75, 46, sell one. 45 and a quarter, 45.50, sell two. Sound familiar? Those are the numbers we had this morning. 45 even, 45 and a quarter, buy one. 44 and a quarter, 44.50, buy two. And last to the euro. I think the euro's headed to 105. We've been there this year. We came off of it. I think we got back up to 114. So it can rally in markets, but again, the stated goal of the European Central Bank is to get the euro lower so they can export outside of the European Union. Lower high, lower low, look for a place to sell it. You can see right here they did get stops below 105, right down there. Not too many contracts traded. And you can see that since then we traded up to 116. So that's what, 11 handles, $11,000 swing. They did that in spite of Goldman's recommendation that it was going to go to par. Okay, looking at the distribution, again, it's very, very square TPO-wise. We're looking at several of these today. Volume is in the up end, so volume's leaning P. We have this new distribution down that started, and we'll make it H. So I would look to retest the 106.80 level. So maybe stops beneath that in London, so 106.75 by 1. 106.50 by 2. On the sell side, we're at 107 right now, so 715, 725, sell 1. Pick up that area, then 740, 750, sell 2. Yeah, our mamas must have gone to the same school, Jeff. I used to get that from mine too. As I went to my merry way down the road, now I'm accused of being oblivious. Maybe they're one and the same thing, just different facets. Hey, that's it for this November the 16th, 2016. We'll see you bright and early in the morning. You all have a great day. I've got at least one more day of running my air conditioner before the cold weather hits. And I will see you bright and early in the morning.